I'm just going to talk a little bit about the budget, and then I want to finish it out by asking you if you have any questions you want to ask me. I'm speaking extemporaneously, but Braden back here knows you cue me when it's time to be quiet, Braden. We passed the budget, which is our only constitutional responsibility in the legislature. It is a balanced budget. It's a $52 billion budget this year. The actual budget began July the 1st, so we're into the first quarter of the new budget. It's $52 billion. The budget process is a very interesting process. You know, Dennis and I have learned it very well because that's how you get things in the budget for your local communities. You start early. You don't wait till you're already in Nashville. The budget's being put together as we speak. So I generally try to, if I've got something in my mind that I want to try to get for this county or any of my counties, then we'll usually start in August and September, getting that done, getting the necessary things, steps made in order to secure the funding, which of course in the last step is in the governor's office. I must be doing something right, Dennis, because the last time I went to see him, he said, "You again?"
He tells me that.
Okay. But I'm going to take that moniker with pride. I'm glad that I have a governor that I can go sit down and talk to. Bill Lee's done a good job. He's been a good friend of Tennessee and Capital County. Okay, so the budget is passed. We start working the fall. The administration does, and the legislature gets to February the 1st or thereabouts. Then it will be divided up into different committees. I know more about the Senate than I do the House. But the different committees take different components of the governor's budget, make their recommendations. Then it's all consolidated again to the Finance Committee. And incidentally, I serve on the Senate Finance Committee now. And then usually there are some changes in the budget the governor proposes, but usually not very many. So we came back with a $52 billion budget. We also were able to do another tax cut for businesses in Tennessee with lowering the franchise tax that many businesses pay in the state. It is a $441 million tax cut that we've made that'll be spread across various businesses in Tennessee. I'm sure that there are some in Capital County that will benefit from that. And I'm proud that we have that mode that we want to cut taxes. You know, we don't want to raise taxes, we like to cut taxes. And we're able to do that because we run the state efficiently. And I'm pleased to say that in the last 10 years, we have returned about $2 billion in taxes to the people through tax cuts, because I believe that you know how to spend your money better than the government does. But we're doing all the things, because of good management, that we need to do. Record appropriations for education, both secondary and higher education. We've had a couple of years ago a major road bill that we have passed. It's going to get state money into the counties, into Campbell County, for example, to fix some of these rural roads. The wheels of the government sometimes move slowly, but that money is in place and on its way. And we'll see some construction, I hope, this year start. Where does your money go? I'm talking from memory. Help me out, Dennis. The single largest expenditure we make in the state government is TennCare, largest one. The second largest expenditure we make in the state is education. And I'm sorry for that. I would like to see education be number one. And we're still working on that. Governor Lee's done a lot of job increasing appropriation, but we're still there. The third is, again, social services. Now, that does not include TennCare's TANF funds, welfare, state programs like that. That's what that is. And then the fourth largest component is transportation, roads, the Department of Transportation. And finally, of the top 5 expenditures, corrections is number 5. And that is one that troubles me greatly. You know, I've seen that number just continue to go up and up and up. You know, we're spending well over $1 billion on corrections, you know, to incarcerate people. in prison. Now, these are numbers are a couple of years old, but we probably have, county jail, local jails, we have about 30, in state and local, about 30,000 prisoners that you're helping to pay to keep up. Now, I think the Governor Lee has made some real progress here in developing programs to help retrain or train inmates to be able to have a useful life when they get out of prison. And those programs are starting to work. You know, like most major programs, it takes a while to implement them. And I was really pleased to carry the bill for him that did that. We also, in the last couple of years, 2 years ago, we extended those programs to the county jails. So, which really have the highest recidivism rates. Many counties, as many as 80% are recidivism rates. I'm pleased that because of these programs, our recidivism rate in Tennessee has dropped. I'm really proud of that. But I still want to see that budget come down. So when you watch the budget hearings, I'll have something to say about it to try to reduce that spending. But that's where essentially your money goes. The most important thing that was mentioned was this budget contains $1 billion for capital expenditures for TCATs throughout the state, not the least of which is TCAT Jacksboro, which is funding for 2 buildings, I believe, here. And I believe you were telling me over lunch that you'll be in the State Building Commission next week to get your plans approved. So we're well on our way. It won't be a hurdle, I promise you. It'll be a unanimous vote and probably very few questions asked, but that will happen. We'll get on with that. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. We've really been able to provide funding to different programs, capital maintenance, equipment for not only Jacksboro TCATs across the state, because I think we have come to a realization that the TCATs offer a unique education through that you can get an education in a short time and get out and go work. Whereas your more formal colleges will require you a longer program. And they have a very vital service too. But the TCATs have really come of age in Tennessee, largely because of the recognition of Governor Lee and the funding that we've given into that. So I'm really proud to have been a part of that appropriation of $1 billion for funding throughout Tennessee. It's going to really pay off. It already is paying off. So those are some of the things we can do. We go back into session on January the 14th. I expect to go back in session. I respect the non-political strictures of Rotary, but I do have an election in November, but I expect to be reelected. I know that sounds somewhat immodest, but I do. And so those are kind of some of the things that's going on in the state. It's hard to know what we're going to be looking at in the new system, but I'll go ahead and jump into a couple of really controversial things. The educational scholarships, sometimes called vouchers, that will come back again. It has failed every time Governor Haslam brought it, and the first time Governor Lee brought it last year, technically didn't fail, I don't think. It just wasn't voted on. I know it wasn't voted on in the House. Didn't get to vote. So we adjourned, and then once we adjourned, it died. And I think that bill will come back. I think the issue that I'm going to talk to the governor about is I think we need to find a way to protect some of these really smaller counties. Because that's the concern. The stated concern is, well, that will take students, those scholarships will take students from the public schools, and then the public schools funding will be diminished because of that. And when you're talking, I have two of the smallest counties in the state, in my district, Pickett County and Clay County. The loss of one student could hurt their tiny little budgets where they get, frankly, not very much local help through the county because they don't have the resources. So one of the things I'm really talking to the governor about, or will be talking, is could we come up with a way to hold these smaller counties harmless that could really be impacted? And I think that would be a step in the right direction. There's growing support in Campbell County for this program. I've heard from several of my constituents town hall, telephone calls, emails. I have heard there's growing support. And I listen to my constituents, so we're trying to figure out a way to protect some of these counties that are so concerned about, being hurt financially because of it. So we'll see what happens. Needless to say, the bill has, if it's been written, I sure haven't seen it. And it'll draw a lot of attention. In the Senate, it's going to be interesting because the chairman of the Education Committee, where this bill would go, was defeated in this re-election effort. So I don't know who the new chairman will be yet. Well, I kind of have an idea who it will be, but I'm not going to say who they're not saying yet. Anyway, so that may be another dynamic. I'm not sure yet. That issue is coming up. That will be a dominant issue in the legislature. And I'm going to give it a serious look at it. What else now? Here's a chance. What questions do you have? There are a lot of other issues I've chosen one.
When you're talking about the smaller counties, like what would you define as a smaller county? Would Campbell County be one of those that you would?
Campbell County's what, about 47,000 people? No.
So they wouldn't?
I wouldn't think so.
Okay.
And you're painting me in the corner a little bit here because we're talking about something that hasn't happened.
Right.
We're talking about counties with 5, 10, 15,000 people.
Right.
Smaller counties.
Yeah.
Where the loss of $7,000 for a student could really impact a really small county.
Right.
Yeah, I think the general public doesn't understand